Welcome to Executives at the Edge, a podcast brought to you by MEF. I'm your host, Pascal Menezes. Join me as we explore thought-provoking perspectives from the leaders and changemakers who are propelling enterprise digital transformation forward. I am so excited to have Rinoy Varkey, Customer Success Officer from IdeaHelix. Rinoy, welcome to Executives at the Edge. Today, I believe we're going to cover lots to do with automation, specifically the business systems itself with quote. To get a quote is even challenging in today's ecosystem, and you're going to explain some of these success stories and what needs to happen in the digital transformation era with networks and automation. So welcome to Executives at the Edge. And if you can please help our listeners with a background of yourself and your company, IdeaHelix, I'd be very appreciative.
Thank you, Pascal, and it's a great honor to actually be part of this whole initiative as such and being part of MEF. I'm Rinoy Varkey, and I'm the Customer Success Officer for IdeaHelix. I've been in the comms space for the last 25 years, and I've been involved in major transformations across the globe for over 100 telecom companies, and I've seen the maturity of telecom companies over different parts of the globe as such. IdeaHelix is a boutique Salesforce Industries SI or an implementation partner. As you know, there are different levels of partnerships for Salesforce. We are right at the top as a summit partner. And as a Salesforce Industries boutique partner, one of the key industries that we are focusing on is the comms industry as such. And we as an organization are focused on building really value-added solutions for vendors, for telecom customers to achieve their digital transformation goals or their transformation goals and based on market changes, network changes, and the ever-evolving business models in the market as such. So that's what IdeaHelix is. We are a boutique SI, a Salesforce implementation partner.
So Rinoy, you're a customer success officer. So what is a customer success officer? Do they ensure success that the customers get a successful experience, or does it ensure success that your company is successful?
Absolutely. Very good question. So this is all about the success of the end customer as such, right? So it's basically to make sure that the customer who we engage with implementing solutions or engage in digital transformations, that the end customers, like the telcos in this case, are successful to meet their digital transformation goals and their business goals as such. That is my number one priority as a customer success officer. Obviously, at the back of it, I really need to make sure that the success that is driven out of our organization, within our organization, is something that can be scalable across the globe and across all our implementations. So that's my role.
So we see a lot of digital transformation happening with these customers, these enterprises. And so what factors contribute to this success that you see?
So I've been involved in over 25 digital transformation projects in the last 6 years or so globally and in different regions. But one of the common factors or the denominator that I've seen for the success of any digital transformation journeys as such is basically number one is that it has to be business-led. Unless there is a business-led transformation, this whole transformation is going to fail. And I would say the rate of failure is much higher than what you would expect. But that is the key thing, is that it has to be business-led, and technology should always be only taken as an underlying enabler to the overall digital transformation, and never should be it IT-led or a technology-led transformation. Number two, key business stakeholders within the organization, being business-led, need to take ownership for every capability within the organization and need to monitor key KPIs where they need to invest in based on industry industry, where the industry is going, and also where the technology is going and how they leverage technology best for their business. We have also seen the overall transformation whenever our organizations step into these transformation. It's an immediate reaction that, oh, this is a shiny technology transformation as such, a shiny technology object that can really help them and is a silver bullet that will resolve all the issues. But that's a real fallacy where people get into that mindset as such, and eventually in a couple of months you see that it becomes technology led. So there has to be a conscious effort and a conscious investment from the business to actually make and drive this digital transformation within the organization. And that involves even making sure that there is a cultural change within the organization. A simple example is that in an organization where we see that there are manual steps that are taking place as part of a delivery of a service, right? You need to make sure that that automation is part of that particular process as such. Now, if there is no cultural change or a mindset to change and automate stuff within the organization, then you're always, whatever technology you put, underlying technology you put to help you to achieve your digital transformation goals will always not result in the best results that you expect to get.
So IdeaHelix is really in the business of taking a Salesforce platform and utilizing the business function capabilities for telecom, correct?
Absolutely. One of our key offerings is that before you even embark and look at the technology aspects of your business in terms of the digital transformation journey, is that we help the business align itself and focus and make sure that the North Star or the business objectives are very clearly defined as part of this particular process right from the onset of the digital transformation process. We also make sure that all the key capabilities that the business capabilities are aligned to the respective value streams and make sure that every capability impacts the right KPIs. So for example, if the business is worried about churn, the business needs to go and check which are the key business capabilities that I need to invest in to make sure that I get better, I basically reduce churn within my business as such. And in similar cases, if there are KPIs such as right first time, that's not is not at the right level, they need to basically know very clearly from a business function perspective that I need to go and basically invest in these capabilities to get the right results or to improve the KPIs within that particular space.
So that's really brilliant. And what I was going to ask you is, MEF is on this network as a service journey, and automation is a must-have. You cannot do network as a service without automation. And IdeaHelix is really providing an automation solution for the telecom industry for this network as a service. And so what I want to ask you was, how is MEF and IdeaHelix working together to really help the adoption of this automation? Specifically, we've been working on automation APIs. We're also working on blockchain technology, smart contracts. How do you see this all coming together that helps your business and the industry in general?
One of the key things that what we are looking at is obviously, as I spoke earlier about this cultural change that needs to happen within the organizations. Obviously, there is the buyer side and then there's the seller side. There are and what we look at, the major part of this and the key opportunity that we see within to really make an impact within this particular industry is the fact that you need to start building a kind of an ecosystem or a network effect within this particular space as such, where buyers can buy from sellers and sellers can seamlessly sell their products or their services across different regions or globally with a global reach as such. Now, with MEF, what we actually see is that we are looking at putting together a solution, or we are working on an initiative called as Middle Earth, where we are working with MEF, we're working with Salesforce and ourselves, and we've put together a go-to-market proposition where we can actually look at having a platform that would work as a marketplace where sellers could seamlessly come and request quotes and place orders to vendors that are on the other side who are selling, and they could basically be within this marketplace. Now, again, I need to really clarify that this particular marketplace is a technology platform rather than a business platform as such. So we give easy access or low-cost entries into using the Salesforce platform with very less tie-ins on the platform as such. And we work with MEF, and we make sure that all MEF standards are up to date and are basically part of this particular solution as such. And the vendors and the sellers, or the buyers and the sellers, don't need to even think about whether, how is the interoperability from a technology perspective going to work. Now, both of this, all this needs to actually tie in together from a cultural and a business change from both sides of the organization, from a sellers as well as from a business. Now, we see that with all the LSO initiatives within MEF that have gone out, it really helps organizations, both from the buyer and the seller side, to start streamlining and looking at standardizing most of their product designs as well as their processes for easy interoperability. And we see this as a major shift or a major step forward in terms of interoperability within between telco vendors across the globe.
Yeah, so what we've realized over the last 20 plus years is we've connected all the telecom providers around the world with the data plane.
Yes.
So we have LAN Ethernet, Carrier Ethernet, and IP services generally, but that's around probably LAN Ethernet or Carrier Ethernet. So that is the data plane interconnectivity of the world, going up to speeds of 400 gigabits now and to even greater. So that interconnects every provider in the world, so the packets can flow anywhere in the world, and there's no lack of destinations because everything's interconnected. But in the automation plane, to make the ability to turn up things even faster, there is no standardization. It's a free for all, much like the internet was in the early days, a wild, wild west. Do you see this is the real essence of what we got to do as an industry? And how can MEF and members support this kind of global automation plane that turns up everything at cloud-like speeds that people can go to any part of the world and turn up any services? Of course, the internet, you can do that and get direct access, but the internet is not something you can trust as a business. You want a business network, and the business network has to be provisioned to the clouds and to all their sites and so on. How do you see this, and what should be the focus, of the MEF members, the industry, what you guys are doing? How do you see this all come together?
So absolutely. I mean, MEF has done a great job so far from a network, automation perspective. And as you said, from a connectivity and all those things from an OSS perspective. What I see is that brilliantly what MEF have actually done is to now help businesses or network providers or comms providers as such to start monetizing this underlying technology that has been standardized. The key thing that I see as at least from an industry or from an industry perspective is that the standardization of products and product capabilities within the BSS layer is going to be key for interoperability. And I think the more products that are standardized within this particular space and get proper definitions, as MEF is actually doing that for SD-WAN and for other product families, to get that a larger list of product families that could be standardized to MEF standards is something that will really, really help customers or telecom vendors to actually interoperate between themselves and help automation. The second thing that I would really see where MEF members could actually work is to invest in smaller vendors who are just getting onto the track of understanding MEF and standardizing, etc. So there has to be an investment from the larger vendors to help smaller vendors to get to get up to speed and to help their automation process, and which basically then helps the larger industry as such. And last but not the least, what I see is that the MEF members should start thinking about these end-to-end processes, the lead to cash process that they go through, and see how that could be standardized, and broken down into key capabilities that can be monitored and can be measured, right, at every stage of the delivery of a particular service. Now, that needs to be done at the BSS layer and within platforms such as Salesforce. And that area is a key focus. After the standardization of the products, I would really look at standardizing the processes, and it has to be more of a larger investment from members as well as MEF and the larger industry leaders as such within the market.
So you're talking about a standardized, like a product payload facing the enterprise that they can. So let's back up actually.
Yeah.
So many of our subscribers, maybe some of them, think the internet connects to everything. So what's the problem, right? Why can't you use the internet? But businesses don't use the internet that way. Consumers do.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
Businesses have private networks, and they've connected all their sites and they connect to their data centers and now to all the clouds.
Yeah.
And they connect in a private way so that they get deterministic, performance for the application. They're more secure than the internet and so on. So what you're saying is this interconnection of the business network between all the providers for a multinational has to span all over the world. Not one provider can provide all of that. So they have to work and make it look like one big global network, even though it's not. And to do that, automation makes that happen, correct?
Absolutely. And basically standardization too. And where I've seen MEF has put so much effort, especially if you look at the SD-WAN product capabilities as such. We've seen that MEF has put in a lot of investment and effort in standardizing those product capabilities as such. This is what really brings in the money or brings the bread home in terms of, all the hard work that's been done at the network layer. It's now helping, telecom vendors to start monetizing the standardization of the network into the standardization of the BSS layer as such.
Yeah. So going back to what I was just saying, my analogy, the use case is that it looks like one big global business network, but it's really interconnected by all these smaller providers. And now what today is the process is done very manually or with proprietary APIs, which means that if I suddenly want to go connect somewhere else, I have to build new APIs to them and in the automation aspects. The data plane's connected, but to turn up something, you still need to say, hey, I want to go from Europe to Europe. What's the price? What's the cost? Provision it, turn it up, bill me, all that stuff. And all of that is manually or proprietary. And it's a complete spaghetti mess. Now, what IdeaHelix is really solving with Salesforce as the platform is just solving the BSS part of that equation.
Exactly.
Which is a customer says, I want to go, Mr. Provider, I want to go to 50 countries around the world. I know you don't have they don't even say that. I know you don't have all the capabilities around the world, but to me, all I care is I'm one-stop shop to you, Mr. Provider. You go make it happen. And to the back end, that provider has to go to all these other operators to get those local loops and so on. And you want that thing to work very fast so that basically the customer wants to know, well, I got 50 countries, these sites, these speeds, what's the price?
Exactly. And that's what, where we are looking currently and where the maturity of the APIs that has been provided from MEF is to target the time to quote as such, right? And if we can get those time to quotes to and basically shrink it even by 60%, right? Obviously, that's going to have an impact in the overall business and the profitability of, major vendors who are coming and, doing these bigger deals of, 50 connectivities or 500 connections across the globe. And if you can shrink that even by 50 to 60% and automate it, I think so that has a huge impact in the overall delivery and also the accuracy of the quote, which really matters, and that impacts your bottom line. There is the automation part of it that basically helps you to get your quotes out quicker, your orders out quicker. But even one of the key factors as part of the automation is that the accuracy of the quote and the accuracy for delivering a particular order also has a major impact on the overall delivery cost as well as delivery time scales for the end customer, for larger enterprises who are actually providing these big turnkey connectivity across the globe for larger enterprises.
Yeah, so the life cycle or the journey for automating starts with quote. Because you want that quote that gets collected back from the 50 providers in my example to come back instantaneously. Customer goes, 50 addresses, site, click, oh, here's the price.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
That's great. Now
Yeah.
I guess you have a price to go to budget, right? The next part of this, so that's what you do, right? That's what you guys do. And the
Absolutely.
next part is, and that's on the Salesforce
Yeah.
platform.
Yeah.
Then on top of that, the next one is, oh, I like it. Now let's go order it,
Yeah.
right? So pretty standard idea, order it. And now it has to be ordered. Now it's ordered not only within their own network of that provider, but they have to go all the partner networks that they're across the
Yes.
planet and say, okay, I want it ordered, right? Turn it up.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's the order part. Then from the order, there is the actual, now it has to be provision in every network along that path.
Yeah.
And that is another set of processes that, now you guys don't do, right? Now it goes down into more each network has what these call service orchestrators, and they have to go now and program, and more they have people doing it, or people is too slow, so it should be machines.
Exactly.
Exactly. But it goes on and on. After they turn up the service, then they got to test the service end to end. Then they got to performance monitor it. They got to look for faults. When faults come in, they got to handle trouble tickets. Then they got to bill on this stuff. So there's a whole life cycle to this
Exactly.
automation. Now, you're not doing all of this, right?
No, we just so when you look at the demarcation in terms of where we actually provide services is at the BSS or the business service layer as such, and we would orchestrate orders from a business or a commercial perspective into the respective service order management layers of the respective sellers as such. We would keep it over there, but again, the fact is that since the catalog and the pricing is within our platform as such, and since it is updated to the latest pricing, and we make sure that the pricing's the latest from the vendors, we make sure that the definitions of the products are standardized. What happens with this is that the delivery of or the quote accuracy of the quote and the accuracy of the order being delivered to the end customer is spot on, and that it really reduces the friction in terms of both delivering a quote as well as delivering a service. So you're absolutely right. We actually make sure that we stay at the business layer, and that's where Salesforce plays really well as a CRM and at the BSS layer. And also, one of the key things that it does is that if you can look at this whole, if it's a large order for 50 to 100 sites that need to be delivered, now this could take months, but certain deliveries take place earlier, and certain deliveries take a longer time in terms of provisioning, be it manual or for other reasons. But you need to start billing for all these services or these locations that have already started service has been provisioned, right? Tested and provisioned, and the customer starts using this. So you basically make sure that you need to make sure that this particular platform is sending the right billing information at the right time to start billing, so that there's no revenue leakage or there's no revenue loss, right, over that longer period of the delivery of this big turnkey order as such.
Now, do you do the billing part too?
We partner with a billing application, but since since billing is more to do with revenue as such, most of the customers don't like to expose that or do it as a service with an organization like IdeaHelix, right? So hence we generally try to integrate to their existing billing platforms, or if they are really looking at an end-to-end a BSS solution, we work with an organization called ARIA Systems that basically helps us to, which is the standard billing application for the Comms Cloud solution from Salesforce. So that's how we work if a customer wants the billing part as part of the overall solution.
Well, Rinoy, thank you so much for this episode. Very, very valuable insight. I think what you're saying now, anybody who's listening to this on the planet who's a service provider that wants to get on the automation journey, the first part of the journey is the quote.
Yes.
And they should really come reach out to you. You can help them. Everybody knows Salesforce. Everybody uses Salesforce. And you're an expert on how to make that work on Salesforce with the communication clouds.
Absolutely. Right? Anyone who's looking at standardizing, anybody is looking at a low-cost entry on a platform like Salesforce, they could reach out to us, and we could basically, with our flexible business, our flexible models, pricing models, we could make it work for any tier organizations across the globe.
Got it. Well, Rinoy, pleasure to have you on this episode, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Pascal, thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us for Executives at the Edge. Don't miss an episode. Subscribe today. Share online a review. Find all our episodes on your favorite podcast platform and at MEF.net.